Falcon fans, Falcon world, what's good? It's your boy 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Man, we got a banger for y'all tonight. Check y'all back in 20 seconds.
Oh man,
Lord, it's that time.
Man,
it's that time.
I told
Floor is
y'all,
yours, Smitty.
man. I told y'all I'm always working behind the scenes, man. I told y'all. When I tell y'all I'm gonna give y'all great content, man, I keep my word. Try to keep my word the best I can. And man, I've been getting everybody hyped all day for this, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all. When I tell y'all, this is one of the most humblest people I ever met, man. Always showed me love. Interviewed him a couple times, man. And when I tell y'all, he open and honest about everything. He open and honest about everything. But before we get going, man, let's give a shout out to the chat. Alberto, go ahead and do that before we bring
roll call. Yes. Roll call. Thank you to everybody that's joining us in the chat tonight. Nate Newt 116, what's good? Greg at GBC Custom Kicks, shout out to you, brother. RGA ATL for life, the plug. What's happening, brother? Archangel, Shaka Zulu, Edward Mitchell. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank y'all for the viewers that are watching right now at home. We appreciate your time, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us tonight. And we have a gentleman that needs no introduction, man.
Damn.
No introduction. Man.
But before
my favorite pass rusher.
Before we get to John, man,
let's get it.
We got to give a shout out to our boy Chase for stopping.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Tonight, man.
Appreciate y'all having me on. Appreciate
Y'all can check Chase out on YouTube now. Chase, give him your YouTube page title right quick.
Yeah, man. So I started off co-hosting for One Time for the Fan, and kind of my buddy Jack kind of just worked me in opening my own channel at Dirty Fanatics United. That's at Chase_ATL. Catch me on Twitter. Do YouTube shorts. Try to do a couple lives here and now, but definitely appreciate y'all letting me join with a Falcon legend like John Abraham. Definitely.
Absolutely.
No doubt, bro. No doubt, man.
Absolutely,
we try to support everybody, man. You are up and coming YouTuber, so we're gonna support you till you get to where you need to be. But
appreciate it.
As I said, man, no introduction needed. This dude, man, freakish athlete.
Definitely made it more
Predator in Atlanta as a pass rusher. Y'all see the background back there. Second all-time in South Carolina in sacks, 23 and a half. All-time Atlanta Falcons sack leader, 68 and a half. Future Ring of Honor. And I'm predicting and I'm calling it because if you don't get in there, I'm going to protest it.
Yes,
sir. So we're going to welcome my old boy, John Abraham.
Hold on, brother.
Hey, what's up, man?
Abraham.
Chilling.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while since I talked to you.
I don't know if y'all got kids, but happy belated Father's Day and all that stuff.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Likewise, man. Hope you had a hell of a Sunday, man.
Yeah, hey, my actually graduating in December, so I've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, man.
So,
man, I got a 16-year-old and an 8-year-old, so man, I'm slowly but surely getting there. It's coming, brother. We already prepping, man. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for that journey.
Newborn on the way.
Woo! No. Yes, sir.
But hey, man, let's get into this thing, man. We're gonna talk defense, pass rush, and my favorite part of the segment, we're gonna talk about the Ring of Honor, like I said before. But defensive wise, man, you've been around the Falcons a couple of weeks now, and you've had a bird's eye view of what the team looks like, the personnel and everything. What's your early assessment as to how this team looks, and what do you think this new overhaul on the roster on defense? How do you think it will help the anemic pass rush going into 2023?
Well, ever since they lost this guy named John Abraham, they have had a consistent pass rusher.
Talk about it.
They tried to replace the guy, but I don't know what happened. They tried to do certain things, and I can say being around the team, looking at a lot of the guys, and actually, knowing Calais, and actually getting to know, everybody knows Grady Jarrett. He's the pinnacle of the defense. watching Caden Ellis, and I'm not sure if Caden Ellis is going to be on the line as much or off the line. So if we can get them blitzing in the middle, because a lot of times when you feel like you don't have enough people to like the special pass rusher that everyone needs, you have to play well. You have to play play for what your players have. So you might have to blitz more. You might have to bring some more things, corner blitzes, certain things that they only had 21 sacks last year. I cannot see that being a problem this year. I can see us in the 40s possible. Because just with the guys we brought over, with 5+ sacks each, I think that'll work. Calais is 1 sack away from being in the 100 club. Grady Jarrett has 32, and the number of sacks he had in his career doesn't show his disruption. Because you would think he had about 49 to 50. Especially how you watch him as a player. But he always make big plays when we need it. Like in the Super Bowl, he played well. Even play with Tom Brady, which was Bulls. But it still was a play. It still was a play that got Grady name out, and that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of effect he has on the game. I definitely feel like I feel good about the team. I actually looked at their record last year, and we only really lost one game, and that was against the Bengals. That was by like 18 points. Every other game was 3 points here, 6 points. Nothing was double-digit loss.
Right.
So if the running game is like we want it to be, and the defense could be half of what they were last year, like just half. Like if they go from 24th in the run game to 12, if they go from sacks, they go from 21 to low 30s or high 30s and low 40s. The whole defense, because we're not that far off. If you look at the scores, I'm looking at scores 1 point here, 3 points here.
Yeah, 10 more sacks.
I think it was. I thought it was going to be. Because it's 10 games. I'm thinking it's going to be like ridiculous. Like the scores was going to be crazy out there.
Crazy.
Like, no, these games were close games in every game. And if the running game comes like we want it to come, the defense is definitely. Because think about it, the best defense is having your offense on the field. So that's a smart thing they're doing with the running game. The only problem I have
Very
with the
good
running
point.
game, as long as we don't get in no gun-slinging contest,
Yeah.
that's the only problem I have with the gun-slinging thing. But I love the running game, and I love Arthur Smith as a coach. And as a person, he seems like he's all there.
Yeah.
Like, if he can keep this job for 5 to 6 years, I can see the Falcons being perennial NFC South winners. Because,
More than
we deal
once.
with Carolina. We deal with the Carolina Panthers with the rookie. We don't know what's going on in Tampa. We got the broke down car in Walton.
baby.
This is the time for us. Like, this is the time that we should just stay humble and just beat the hell out of people.
That's right.
Just be honest. Just looking at it. If you look at the schedule and you're looking like, okay, well, they got this team, they got this team. They got a couple games that we're kind of scared about, but the 7-10 team last year can flip and be a 10-7 team so easy. Even last year, like just looking and with Mariota doing whatever he did, and having Ritter come in and being confident. You think about it, Ritter has the most experience in our division. He's playing what two games.
4.
Like, so there's a lot of stuff here that we got to look at and be like, hey, we're not that far off.
Yeah. So with all things mentioned, you feeling real confident about the Falcons winning the NFC South this year?
I can't see them not winning, or at least competing. Like I'm trying to see how New Orleans can slide in back. And y'all looking like I'm looking like. And I'm not trying to knock any other team. I'm just saying that if you're thinking about the team that has the pieces that already been there, even though they're young. Yeah. Usually when you're a young team, you don't really have a lot to worry about. Everything should be improvement. Facts. So, and then we think about we got Bijan coming in, and Bijan is going to be. Think about they line up in a 22 set. If anybody knows, 22 is 2 backs, 2 tight ends, and they spread on you.
Yep.
And they spread. Everybody talking about all the little different techniques and different stuff they can show. That's stuff that's going to help the defense because people don't understand. If you're on a team that the defense is tired all the time playing 70 plays, your numbers are going to look skewed. And I think that's what's wrong with the thing. Because I'm looking at the yardage per game. I'm like, they only scored 17 points this game. But the yardage is like 200-300 because the defense is on the field a lot. But the defense played well last year. It played better than people think.
Yeah.
You look at the numbers and the sack total. If you're winning a game and you're able to run the ball, that's what it's going to look like.
John, you played on a pretty talented team back in 2012, man, and the offense was kind of like pick your poison at that time. We had a young Julio, Roddy was a mainstay, Harry Douglas, acquired Tony Gonzalez around that time. The defense was looking good. I mean, you was leading the helm, of course, and Jonathan Babineau and such. Do you see any similarities within this ball club now to that year?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Really different breed. I ain't gonna sit here and lie, man. Don't even like, yeah, man. I see you. No,
Yeah, I love it. Good. All right. Man.
Okay, I had Babineau. We got great year. That's an upgrade. And I ain't trying to knock Babs. Babs.
No, hell no.
But Greg is a little upgrade on that. You have Calais Campbell. I think we had. I can't even remember wherever the end was. We had the opposite end. I can't even remember.
Yeah, Croy Behrman. Croy Behrman was there at the time.
Like I said, I don't remember the other guy. Like I said, I don't remember that. I didn't stutter. I said I don't remember the other guy.
That's cool.
So you got Calais Campbell now. So on the D line, that's an upgrade automatically. Calais even Bud Dupree coming in, I think if he can stay healthy, he can stay healthy and play beside either one of those guys, his sack number is gonna go up. Because when I played against Calais, I was in my 14th year. I came in with 11 games left and I had 11 and a half sacks. So being able to play with Calais and playing off Calais is good. I think the only person I'm looking for on the defense that I really have my eye on and this is the guy I want to do well is Okudah. I think if you get Okudah, the whole D line will perk up. Because you have AJ Terrell that's doing great, and he's really not getting a lot of footage and a lot of notoriety because of the team he's on. If he was on any other team, you'll understand like this dude is balling. You know what I mean? So if Okudah can get in that place, because I know one year I played, I think I had 5.5 sacks, and they were like, "John, you falling off." I said, "No, the ball was coming out too fast." I said, "How you want me to get sacks?" I said, "Look," I said, "I had to turn on film." I literally turned on film. I turned on film and I said, "Look, how fast you want me to get there? How fast you want to get there?"
There you go.
And I walked out.
Yeah.
I went home. I went home for the day. I kissed my ass. I said, "Y'all take me off. I said, no, y'all better do the film work first." I said, "I know." I said, "Look, this ball is coming out like this." So if you can get a corner that can play good man coverage or a corner that just know how to play good cover 2 and cover 3, we're good. So Okudah is my guy, and I think he went through a lot, and I think people are signing him off too soon. So I definitely want to see him out there, and I want to see him play because I think in this type of defense that they can scheme stuff around, I think he'll be more comfortable at home.
Very good.
But with a season career sacks of 133.5 sacks, what was your technique to doing that? I mean, because that's an outstanding number. And when did you know you had enough of the NFL?
Well, my last game I had a concussion, so I didn't have enough. I think NFL had enough of me. He's like, "Okay, get your ass off the field." I felt like I was 8 sacks away from being in the top 5. And I think the big number that people missing about me when they talk about the Hall of Fame, I missed 46 games from injuries. So if you take the 46 games, that's like 30 more sacks to me. Right. So I'm just saying, me personally, and I had to get over there. I had to go to treatment and stuff for a lot of trauma from football, even with the fact of having that concussion. The last concussion wasn't my first. The year before that, I knew I was bad, but I played through it. The year before that, before I left and went to Arizona, I played through that too because I wanted to finish with a ring. If I would have got a ring in 12, you wouldn't have saw me in 13.
Facts.
So I was thinking we were going to get a ring, so I was good, and I was like, okay, I'm good, but I'm going to keep playing. My memory was bad. Like, I had to minimalize my life. Like, that's what I do now. A lot of stuff is minimal. And actually talking to you guys on the podcast and doing stuff like this, it helps me build my memory back and thinking through things. You actually have to a lot of guys go a little AWOL when they're done, or you hear about a lot of guys doing a lot of negative stuff after. That was me. That was me. Yeah. But I was just trying to find my way because I think with us just being men, we used to just my fingers hurt, give it a couple of days, it'll be all right. It's totally different with your brain. You gotta let it rest. You can't do all this stuff. You can't drink. You can't be out partying. You can't be in loud rooms. You can't sit here and like act like you're okay and try to zone out when you're not in the right area. So like I started treatment 3 years ago, and I'm still doing it. Like even this right here is treatment for me. Like this helped build because I was scared of football for the first like 7 years after football. I still was living football. Like I would wake up sweating like I just played a game because I played a game in my mind. So
Man.
it took a lot of stuff, man. It just took a lot of separation. Now I'm back and I'm trying to show people that I do enjoy the game and I'm actually smarter than I was physical.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sorry if I answered the question too long, but damn it.
Nah.
No,
That's all
man.
right.
No,
That's
you
all
good,
right.
bro?
Hey, the
good.
people in the chat, they loving it.
They love it, man.
As I look at the two coaches they added on defense, Ryan Nielsen and Jerry Gray, two veteran head coaches who do what they do very well. How do you think what kind of impact do you think they will have just all together? Because I think it's the sky's the limit with those two guys. Because Jerry Gray, former defensive coordinator of the Bills, when you was young in your career, had top 2 defense 2 years in a row. What kind of impact do you think they will have coaching?
Well, first of all, I think with Ryan Nielsen, he bought over Ryan Nielsen and also Terry Fontenot. They bought over the Atlanta Saints. But I think the big thing with Nielsen is you see who besides Cam Jordan on the New Orleans defense we really know.
Marshawn Lattimore, that's about it.
Okay.
David Onyemata at
And
once.
one of the guys we have here now.
Exactly.
One of the guys, we have Caden Ellis here now who put 7.
Onyemata, yeah.
So they had 48 sacks last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's just say enough right there. That shows that he knows how to put players in positions to get sacks. And I don't think people understand how important it is to know football to get sacks. It's more than just your physical ability. Physical ability is good when you're younger, but to get to the 10 mark every year, you need to know what play. You need to know what down I can rush. You need to know what down I might not need to rush. You know when you're getting chipped. You need to know who I'm getting blocked by. So it's a lot of different things that people don't think about. Like I was just having a long talk with LeVon Kirkland. He played back in the day, and I was talking to LeVon.
Yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude right there.
Yeah, I was telling LeVon, LeVon, people don't understand how football is so much special than just what y'all see athletically. Like when you see people like Peyton Manning, when you see people like Mahomes, when you see people like Tom Brady, you should pick their minds compared to seeing like, how did you make that throw? Okay, why did you make that throw? Or John, why did you get that sack? Oh, the back was over here, and I saw the tackle hand over here, and I saw this, and I saw the guard leaning back, so I knew I could just go. Or if I knew they don't run the ball on 3rd and 2. Because they seem like it'll be a running down, but it's a passing down. So that's stuff about football that people need to pay more attention to. When you see like a cornerback make a great play like Sauce, he do some great plays, but we never think about like how did he know to stop that route right there? Even the receiver didn't know. That's all about preparation, and that's the mindset of the game that people need to put more attribute on. The people that really are good at football, the ones that are studying, the ones that really know the game. That's how you win the game. And I think Nielsen puts people in the spots that are going to make them better.
That's awesome. So, John, I quick question, man. How do you view the evolution of the pass rush since you last played in the NFL? Do you feel like it's taken a whole hell of a lot step forward, or do you see it still the same from your time and just creativity is more creative input into the pass rush nowadays?
I would say I don't know the numbers, but to me personally, it seems like sack numbers have definitely gone up around the league. I think there are more people like me around the league, the Von Millers, even the TJ Watts, the smaller guys that can get around the corner and shake and bake and do some stuff that look good, like Parsons. Parsons, if you see him like back in the day, they were like, he's a tweener, he's small. I love those type of guys because they let them run, they let them I like to dance. So they let them dance, they let them do the shake and bake, they let them get to the quarterback. They don't have restrictions. Like before, we used to get double team, lead tight ends in, backs used to chip. I don't see that as much. I see less double teaming, so I see a lot more schemes. And the defense is smart too. They're scheming so their pass rushers can can get one-on-ones. Like I love the 3-4 defense. I was drafted a 3-4 guy. My last year, I got to be an outside linebacker and had the best. Me personally, not sack wise, but personally, I had the funnest time of my career in Arizona my last year there because I got to play outside linebacker and I got to show people I was smart because I had to drop. I had to change coverages. Me and Patrick Peterson would play cover 2 or cover 3 with each other because of the difference. You know, like, man. No, I'm saying if I got a back to my side, if I got a running back to my side, we're in cover 3, why am I going to drop in coverage?
In coverage.
Yeah. So I'm
Absolutely.
like, no, I'm going to take the back.
Yep.
So it'll change the cover 2. I'll take the back. You go do this. You take the curl. It's like different things like that we used to change just to make it easier for each other.
Man, that's good stuff, man.
No doubt. We got a super chat right quick. John Rose Jackson said you one of his favorite Falcons. Thanks for coming through. And he said good stuff, fellas. So shout out to Ro, man. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. And we're gonna get to the next question, man. We're looking at the Ring of Honor, man, and we talking about this all the time on the show. And, you know, I asked you before about the Hall of Fame. You gave me your honest opinion about the media. What do you think about being in the Falcon Ring of Honor, and what would that mean to you?
I think what I'm doing now should help me be in the Ring of Honor. I think what I did when I played, I didn't do enough. I did enough on the field. That's obvious. That's not even a question. But I was a more introvert when I played. I didn't want people to know that I was messed up in the head at the time. So I stayed away from fans. I stayed away from doing events because I didn't want people to know how I cope with them. So, you know, me getting back out now and showing people who I really am and, you know, coming to events that the Falcons asked me to come to, doing things like that. It took a lot, man, because I went through a big breakup with them. Like my girlfriend.
Yeah, I remember.
My girlfriend dumped me in public and she didn't call me first. So I was like, hey, take me to dinner first, baby. So hopefully, and I guess because it's been 10 years since I played and nobody has gotten close to my numbers, they haven't had an intricate part or someone to, you know, kind of replace. So hopefully that helps. It's been 10 years. It's been like 10 years and no one has came in. And I mean, I think Beasley came and had a year or two. And, you know, we were looking like, okay, Beasley's going to be that guy. He led the league, but he wasn't consistent like I was, you know, every year in and out. And I gave my body for this team. I literally gave my body for this team. And, you know, now coming back and them still showing the love, them letting me, you know, come doing podcasts. They let me do some media work with them because I'm trying to get into media. So I think this is the part that can hopefully push me there. If I'm not there this year or a few years down the road, that's fine with me. As long as I got the appreciation from them, I got the appreciation from the fans. Like when 100%. I walk around, people know who I am, so I'm not mad. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm still like, if I ain't the leading sacker, I'm the second leading sacker. So my numbers say that he was good for us. And once I start talking to people more and people start seeing me and they're like, yeah, he deserved to be in there. He's a cool dude. He ain't the John Abraham from the news that always get in trouble. He's totally different. He was just going through some stuff. He's a grown man. Stuff happens. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't know how to cope with things. You know, you get in your mind that this is right. I can do this. I can do that. You know. So.
I got one more. This is one stat, John. You have one career INT, and it came against the Aints. How gratifying was that to get your first career interception off a Hall of Fame type quarterback in Drew Brees?
I would say it would have been real gratifying if we'd have won. And also if I wouldn't have got tackled by Drew Brees. That was
facts. That was a house call.
If I know what I knew now, I would have caught it and I would have tossed it back to Bierman. Because I thought we had the game then. I said, okay, I got the pick. I'm like, I got my first pick. And something told me I was gonna get it, but I ain't thought I was gonna get it like that though. But it was a freaky way to get it, but it still was cute. But if I would have scored, I might have been on SportsCenter or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Facts, man.
It was cool. I got one interception, but when I was in New York, I played with cast on my fingers like this.
Yep.
So it went, and then I didn't drop much either. So
Oh man, that's great, man. That's great. Any go ahead, Smitty.
What would you say was, and this is a question from one of my buddies, Winston Thornton. He said, "What was the highlight of your career, and what was the low light?"
The highlight of my career was definitely getting drafted. Just solidifying my mom ain't had to work no more.
Hey, boy, that's what it's all
like,
about.
I will give you this as an example. When you first started this podcast, it was different than it is now, right?
Right.
But when you first started, how was that feeling? That feeling was just like, oh my God, I'm doing it. You got your work go out the way, and you felt like that's pretty much how I was when I got drafted. Like, you know, everything afterwards was spectacular, and they had great moments. But that one moment, just hearing your name, everybody listening just for your name, that never happens in life. So for me, being 21 at the time, it was just, having my mom there, having my family there, and getting drafted to New York. Bro, I would never have that feeling or the feeling of getting a sack again in my life. And those are two feelings that, I can't tell you how I feel unless you've done it before.
John, one question for you. Who was your favorite quarterback to sack?
Whoo.
And all of them. What kind of question is that? That's the dumbest question. Every time somebody asks me after that, is the stupidest question.
There's got to be one quarterback.
There's
got to be at least one quarterback
right
that you
now,
despise.
You pad up and put the ball in your hand and take a snap. I hit your ass, I'm happy.
Oh, man.
I don't care who it is. It could be Bubba Chuck. I don't care. Hey, you can put your mama back there. And I ain't talking mama jokes. I'm just saying, anybody who got that rock, I don't care if they could have put my mom back there. I would have hit her too. That's the same. So it didn't matter who it was, man. I'm telling you. But I'm saying what team I enjoy sacking? New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yeah. 100%, baby. Hell yeah.
It would always be the Saints because it was just different. Because if you ever been into Atlanta in a game, they run the deal. They fans come in here like they running.
No
so
doubt.
whenever we played them in the dome, it was just like, oh, I got to get a sack on Drew. I got to get a sack on Drew because they was hyping him up and they were doing all this. I said, oh, I got to get a sack on Drew. It hit different when you talk trash.
Yeah. John, if you could speak just a little bit more on Arthur Blank, man, and what he means to you. And I know I saw an interview not too long ago. You spoke very admirably about Mr. Blank there. He smells like money. So if you could chime in and just talk a little bit about that, man, what led to your decision to join the Atlanta Falcons back in 2006?
Hey, man, I'm going to give y'all something funny, though. You got Arthur Blank and Arthur Smith. Them two rich brothers.
We straight.
I was doing my research, right? And I said Arthur Smith. And they said, Dad. I'm like, this ain't right. Hold on, this ain't the right Arthur Smith.
Hey, refreshed.
This ain't the right Arthur Smith. They said, Dad, I was like, what the? I was like, oh, yeah. Lord. But I can say one thing about Arthur Blank, and just watching him on TV, that's literally Arthur Blank. He's not one of the owners that you see you see him on TV standing like this, like they had something to do with the game, or they really talk to the players, or you see them shaking hands. First of all, if you see an owner come in shaking hands like at the beginning of the game, he probably don't know you. Because most owners will just come to me. I ain't gonna shake your hand every time. If I know you, I ain't gonna come shake your hand every time I see you.
Right.
I ain't doing stuff with camera. You see Arthur, like, he'll just put his hand on me like, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? You'll see him like standing beside somebody having a conversation. So that's a big thing that you see that's a lot different from other owners. You see some owners come out every now and then, you see them shaking guys' hands, and you say, okay, this guy don't know him. Think about it. Because if I first see y'all, I shake your hand after that. I'm like, what's up, man? You good? I'm not going to sit here and do that. That's the kind of thing that Arthur brings to the table. And Arthur, from his soccer team to Mercedes-Benz Stadium now, he's always trying to be a winner. And I think he brings that love to Atlanta. You can go anywhere in Atlanta and he's touched somebody in Atlanta. I remember one time when I was at training camp, this is when I first got to Atlanta, I was sitting here looking at this big old facility because in New York we had a small facility. I was looking at the facility and I was thinking about all the cars in the parking lot, all these balls and all these stuff all around. And I was like, dang, he on all this. I'm like, every car in there, because think about it, in some way or direct way or indirect way, he paid for all of this. I was thinking about my car, I was thinking about the house I got. I was like, oh, that's Arthur Blank. So think about that when you think about the city of Atlanta, because all these guys that play on the team, the coaches, everything, all them houses, that is something from his tree. So that's amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's dope, man.
Let's get it, GA. Thank you for the donation, man. Truly appreciate it. Said many blessings, fellas. Big John, he said, good to see you, brother. You was a beast. We haven't had any dominance since you left. And you talked about that a little earlier, man. And speaking of dominance, who did you model your game after?
When I first got in the league, I tried to be somebody I wasn't. I tried to be like Lawrence Taylor. I tried to be like Bruce Smith. I tried to be like, every other guy with Derek Thomas. I tried to be like all them guys. And it got to the point that when you're going to be John Abraham. And once I start being John Abraham, I start doing what I was good at. I stopped trying to do his move. I stopped trying to do this. I stopped trying to listen to the coach. I said, John, all season I worked on what I was good at, because everybody was like, John, you a speed rush. Everything comes to speed, you a speed rush. I said, I can bull rush, I can counter inside. And I started doing what I wanted to do, and be able to do what you want to do, you have to do it right. Now, you can't just do it and say, I'm going to spin inside, and then you mess up a whole play, then you'll never do it again. So I worked on all my moves, and I started winning at the moves, and that's when I became John Abraham. And once I stopped worrying about, like, how he pass rushes. I'm not Dwight Freeney, okay? I'm not trying to spin all around the thing. I know I can do speed to power. I know I can speed around the corner. I know I'm good at getting off the ball. I know I can read a quarterback when he's pulling out. So when I started listening to myself and stopped trying to listen to what the coach was telling me, but being right when I was doing it, we had a play called Be Right. My coach made it up. He was like, I don't care what you do, just be right. He's like, look, I'm dead serious. He was like, and I think this is something I made up in my head. Like once you start looking at a player and you start saying like why he do that, when you stop being a shoulda player, everybody see a play like, oh, Matt Ryan should have threw it here, or Matt Ryan should have did this, or John Abraham should have stayed outside. When you get to a player where people watch and they be like, oh, I wonder why he did that. When they start thinking that you should have did something else, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, they're gonna think you right every time you do something. When you get to be a good player, like they don't even worry about like why he did that or this or he should have did this. They don't say should no more. They be like, well, John Abraham went outside. I wonder why he did that. You will wonder why, but you ain't gonna say he should have done it. You ain't gonna say he should have done that. So when you get to be a player like that, that's when you know you made it.
No doubt, no doubt. And what coach pushed you to be great? You talk about coaches. What coach gave you that extra drive?
I had a lot of coaches, but what pushed me to want to be great was my mom. And I ain't knocking.
That's a great answer.
I ain't knocking.
Yeah, man.
That is a great answer.
I had great coaches, man. I had Ray Edwards was my favorite coach just because he let me be John. You know what I mean? He let me be myself. He didn't worry about. I could talk to Ray and tell Ray, well, Ray, I'm gonna do this week. All right, do what you want. We got you. I'm getting these boys right. So certain things that a coach brings. I talked to one of my coaches from college, Rick Petrie, and I told him, I was talking to him because my recruiting guy, Brad Lowen, passed away this last week. He didn't want to recruit me to South Carolina. So we were talking, and I told him, I was like, I wish I would have listened to you more when I was in college. He used to tell me to stretch. He used to tell me, he used to try to get me to learn the game. But I was so physically talented, that's all I was trying to do. I'm going to outrun everybody. I'm just going to run around and try to catch every play and do this and do this. And I probably wasted so much energy doing that. But me and him had a great talk. So those are two guys that were very integral in my career from college and in pro. But my mom was definitely the person that pushed me, but she wasn't trying to. But when you have something in the background that people don't know about that pushes you, it's a different type of leverage.
Right, absolutely. Shaka Zulu, thank you for the super chat, man. Said, do players feel like the rivalry games like fans do? Like we absolutely hate the Saints. So the players feel the same way about rivalry games like fans do?
I can honestly say yes. Yes, because when I was in New York Jets, the Patriots were our people that we wanted to beat. Even though they beat us like all the time, they were our rivals. Because because how the Saints were winning so much. When they won a Super Bowl. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So they had to be our rival. Tampa was our rival too. Carolina was a big rival for me because I'm from South Carolina.
Yeah,
my people was going to be. But when it came to New Orleans, like I said, think about how the fans come in here like they run the place. They come in here, oh, you got on the wrong color. I'm like, man, I played. So, what the name is? I'm going to remember the booty. Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, you the one got tackled by Drew Brees, huh?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. Hey.
Damn, man.
So we go on, man. We got to welcome in my boy Twisted Torch. We had a great interview with Miles Garrett, Channel 5 News here in Atlanta, producer. Twisted, what's up, man? I knew you was gonna slide through for a quick second, man. I know you got a question for John.
The hype.
Man, what that question is.
The hype. Let's go.
Hold on. We got a GOAT in the building. First off, this guy had 133 sacks, might I add. 48 forced fumbles. An interception versus Drew Brees or versus the Saints. We remember that game, don't we? A guy that took over games. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Took over games. Shouts out to you, Abraham, man. You're one of the best to do it. And I heard you saying about you learn to not be other people. Hell, you could be yourself because you had the finesse move. You was able to get off and get to the QB quick. And you didn't go for tackles. Like I said, you went for forced fumbles. You went to take the game over. And that's what we're missing. So I need you.
That.
No,
I
exactly
need
what
you
you're
to talk to
saying is
these
true.
kids.
Man. I got one for you, John. How great of a tandem do you think you and Patrick Kearney could have been? I mean, me as a
man.
Falcons fan,
You know, that's a soft spot. That's a soft spot for me because you talk about Pat, I talk about. There's so much stuff that went wrong those 2 years. From Pat, from me getting hurt, from losing Mike Vick, man. Like, because my big reason the year before I came to Atlanta, I was with the Jets. And we played in the Dome, and I'm black if y'all don't know. And if you come down to Atlanta, I walked in the Dome, and I'm like live band over here, people playing over here, Mike Vick over there looking fresh as hell with braids. I'm looking like they got the red and black fans going crazy, man. I'm looking like, dude, I would love to play here. Like this place is always jumping, and just the atmosphere, you felt like you're gonna win. Like back then, I don't know how the Dome. It ain't the Dome no more, but the Dome back then. And I honestly could have went to other places, but when they said Atlanta, I was like, no, I want to be there. Like I gotta be there. So
make it happen.
Pat went on in Seattle and had a Pro Bowl year the next year, and we ended up getting that boo boo coach. Pity Pat. We ended up getting Pity Pat. So so that's why I said that goes when you talk about Pat, it just goes straight down to
man.
Right
I got a question
right
for
on
him.
time.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
So how were you able? Because throughout these years with the Falcons, it was pretty much you, Babineau. As far as making plays, we depended on you in key moments to make a sack or a forced fumble or anything. So how was it going through those stages and those key moments, knowing that you're the guy? Did you have any pressure moments, or were you just able?
Never pressure when you want to be the man. They ain't never.
There we go. Hell yeah.
Like honestly, I look at my career sometimes and I say, I wonder if I had somebody that can push me harder. Like when I was in Arizona, I had Calais. So Calais got the ball. I was like, what this dude's good. He had like 8 sacks. That's the first time I had somebody had like almost the same thing I had. So for me, it's more of like I had to pick my game up because I said I got to do extra because just getting a sack ain't gonna do it. I gotta get the ball out. Like I got to make this run play because and at the time they were kind of counting my plays because I was older and they were like he getting hurt here and there. So you had to watch like when I played sometimes. So for me, when I got a chance to play, I said, I got to make a play. Like, I can do this or I can do this. Like you said, I ain't make no tackles. I'm trying to get the ball out. I'm trying to get on Sports Center. I'm trying to do stuff that, remember, like, there's a difference between being a good player and being a playmaker. I always in my mind felt like I was a playmaker. I never felt like I was a good player. I knew how to make plays. I said, look, John, you are a playmaker. You since you were in high school, you've been a playmaker. You don't have to get an interception all the time. You don't got to score a touchdown. But if you give your offense a chance to get the ball back, it's just like a turnover, bro. Let's do that.
Yep.
John, you mentioned something very interesting there, saying that you wish you had somebody to mentor you or you just be there, as an equal, so to say. So on this current Falcons roster, we got a young man by the name of D'Angelo Malone. Would you ever like to work with him individually? Do you see any traits in D'Angelo Malone that you could say, like, man, listen, young man, refine this and this, and you'll be Gucci. You'll be good to go, man.
He shaped funny. Hey, I was like, man, that boy, he supposed to be a basketball player that plays football.
Oh man.
I was looking like, I said, who that is right there? They was like, that's. I was like, oh boy, oh boy. No, but seriously, I would love to, and if they paying it, I'll go out there and coach. I ain't gonna do no free stuff. I'm too old to be free. I'm 45
Facts.
years old, man. I need
Facts.
that. I need another 10.99. I need some shit coming out. You know what I mean? I need
I'm right behind you. Hey, I know how you feel. I'm right behind you, bro.
Oh, shit.
You know, you get a certain age, you're like, yeah, I can't do. Like what they said, if you work this hard for a skill, you should get paid for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think
Facts.
they kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I would love to just work on the person. But if I was going to work with someone, that's the only reason why I don't coach, because I don't think people have the same mind I have.
Yeah.
So I might say do this and do that. Like when I became myself, if I was going to coach somebody, I'll tell them like, what's your best moves? Work on it daily until it's like automatic. So whenever you like come off the ball, you know exactly what you do. Like I knew my counter moves. I knew if I was going to bull rush. I knew everything before the ball snapped. Sometimes I had to adjust, but 9 out of 10 times before the ball snapped, I said, I'm gonna bull rush this guy because I know it's gonna be a 3-step drop.
Yeah.
There's no point in me getting behind the quarterback. 5-stop drop, I might do a little dance. I might stop inside for a little while and come back outside because I got no time to get back out. Now, if this is 7-step, you gone.
You gone.
I'm out there. I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
just learning the game and learning what the people are doing. That's what I was saying earlier about being smart. Like
Yep.
you can be a very physical guy because I've seen guys. Trust me, they say body like Tarzan, play like Jane. I've seen it my whole career. I've seen it my whole career. Like if you look
Vernon
at Jamal,
Golston.
if you look at Jamal Anderson, the defensive end we had. If you look at Jamal Anderson, defensive end we drafted, and I don't have no problem with Jamal as a person. I'm just saying he never really worked on his craft a lot. You know what I mean? Like he was big. He can get up the field, but he never worked on like counter moves, speed, power, stuff like that. It was kind of like, he did it in college and he tried to transform it to the NFL.
Right.
You got your bag got to be different because they watch film just like we do.
Fucking facts. Copycat league, even in college ranks, man.
One of my very good friends, man, Winston Thornton, man, he has a question for you right quick. Winston, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fella?
Winston.
What you got for John right quick?
Hey, Mr. Abraham, big, huge fan of your entire career. Can you speak on the importance of a veteran locker room when you first hit the league, and what was the move that you picked up from a veteran?
Okay, well, I think the NFL is different now. I picked up a drinking problem, so that was my damn problem. So every
this is raw and uncut. Let's go, man.
Might not be the best, but I would say like with our locker room, because we have the layers, we have Grady Jerry, so they are good guys to mentor those guys on the off-field stuff. Because I think for me mentally, I never learned how to cope with off-field stuff. I came in the league at 21, and at 21 with millions of dollars, never had somebody tell you about finances, never tell somebody about insurance, never tell you somebody about certain things like real life stuff that people go through. That like a lot of athletes don't have to go through because you have people doing it for you. So that would be the big thing. I even I talk to the guys now. I tell them make sure you know everything that's going on. Like sometimes you feel like okay, well I'm paying this guy. No, do your due diligence. So with football, you know exactly where everything is. You know this and that. I think that's more important in football when it comes to the older guys. Like football will come. If you're a good football player, it'll come. But I'm saying if you can get the off the field balance, just like this podcast. Once you get off this podcast, you gotta get back to life.
Right.
So life, if you got that life balance, you can do this podcast easy. We all joking around now because we ain't worrying about nothing crazy going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. If you worry about too much stuff at home, it usually translates to work and it translates on the field.
Yeah, amen to that. Chase, you gonna get the last question in because you the special guest, and then Alberto, you gonna take us out, man.
No doubt, man.
Chase, one more question.
Yeah, man. John, when you overlooking the team or just viewing more aspect of the team than what we get, what do you think about a guy named Troy Anderson? He's been here for a year. He was a later round draft pick. Somebody that I expect to take a big leap in year two. Just your thoughts on Troy real quick.
I didn't get to see a lot of Troy, so I don't want to say anything wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't see him much at practice. I did talk about him a little about hopefully he can fill in because we're so stacked. We have so many players. If he wants to be a name, I mean, we got Walker too, and Walker can slide in there too. We got so many people we got so many ifs. You know, if this works. You know, we got Bud, we got Animata, we got so many names that you can throw in the mix. It's like it's hard to pick one person out. Somebody's going to have to come out and be that guy. You know, hopefully about a 6 or 7 game, we can say, okay, Ellis has 5 sacks. He's coming off to a great season, or Calais is having a great year. He has 6, or hopefully be somebody spread from everybody else, but also hopefully it's spread out good. If we can get 5 people with 6 sacks and maybe 2 other people with 7 or 8, we're up in that 40 mark that we want to be.
Looking nice.
So that's the big thing for me. I think this team, you're going to see the sacks are spread. I don't think we really have a 13 to 15 sack guy. Maybe if Bud Dupree can come back from 2020 when he got here and he had the
facts.
We can get him back to that type of Bud, but you know, with injury and the mental thing with injury is the hardest thing. If he mentally can just look past that and just play ball, maybe we can get him, especially with Calais. Yeah, we can get those 2 playing together. Maybe we can get a double-digit sack guy. But for me personally, we can get somebody with 9. We can have sacks going from 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, or maybe a 5 and 4 here. You know, a couple DBs have a sack here or there. You know, we good. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man. John, before we part, man, and again, thank you for taking the time out tonight, man, to rock with myself and Smitty and Chase, man. This is a popular question in the chat, man. It's been asked a lot of times. But John, your toughest tackle that you went up against, does anybody stand out? And this is courtesy of Out of Your Falcon Mind, man. Shout out to the boys.
Oh man. Anthony Jones from Seattle.
Walter Jones?
Yeah.
There ain't no shame in that.
Yeah. Boy, yeah, it was not even close. Like what messed me up with him, he don't talk. He didn't say a word. Like you'll give him his best, you'll give him your best move, and he'll just be like, and he just walk back. like ain't nothing happened. You sitting there working, he just and this dude, something is wrong with this guy, but he's probably the mental thing is when you want to because usually when the tackle start talking trash, that's when I like to turn on. So it was tough, but he was definitely probably the best I played with,
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Well, there you have it, folks, man. This is going to conclude this part of the show, man. Everybody in the chat, thank y'all for rocking with us tonight. Chase, Winston, Twisted, thank y'all for joining myself and Smitty, man. John, man, we would love to just talk to you just a few more seconds off air. But everybody, man, we thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Peace up, A-Town down. Smitty.
Dirty Birds.
Appreciate
it.
You know what time it is, man. Like I always say,
it's been a blessing.
Please go to the description of this video, man, and support other Falcon content creators, man, because that's what we're here for. And that's what we do, man, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And Twisted Torch had a great interview earlier, man, with Myles Garrett. Y'all please go check that out on his channel, Twisted Torch TV on YouTube. My boy Winston always coming through, man. I had to let him slide in for a second. He support me from beginning to end.
100%.
I appreciate it, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chase, I appreciate you, my brother. We definitely gonna have you on during the season for post game, preview shows. Anything we do, we're gonna have you tagged into it, man. Trust me, because we want you to grow.
I appreciate y'all.
He's a New Orleans Saints fan, I guess. He says, "Who that? Coming to the show love to this channel, man. I appreciate it. Who you? Been sub for a while, but finally able to catch my first live. Great show and love the rivalry between us. Love hearing talking about football. Great show. I'm a Saints YouTuber. You drop that link in the chat, and
we ain't got no
check it out later.
Yeah, we're gonna holler at you this season. You might have some shows.
All right, man. So for y'all, everybody here, man, this your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. From my boy Smitty, my boy Chase, Twisted, Winston. Man, we out of here, man.
All I got, y'all,
Hey,
man.
Peace.
one more thing. Big
Oh,
shout
go
out
ahead.
to out of your Falcon, man.
Absolutely, man. That goes without saying.
Locked on
Lockdown Falcons.
Locked on Falcon.
Absolutely.
Today.
One
Great
time for the fan.
episode.
Yeah.
It's a big shout out.
Appreciate y'all for the invite.
No doubt, man.
I appreciate y'all truly.
All right, man.
No
No
doubt,
doubt.
man.
Be safe, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.